Waiting room admit. All right, just another minute or so, and then I'll make some announcements and we'll get started. And let me also see if I've got my core staff here. I see Mr. Walker's here, Mr. Strobel's back with us. Good morning. I see Daryl's here, and I'm assuming Jasmine's here, Miss Wright is here. Thank you. I don't know if Investigator Brock's here, but it looks like we've got most everyone back. All right. So let me go ahead and just make some initial announcements. Again, I am going to ask everyone to mute their device. Let's see, I've got a few folks I'm getting some feedback on. If you can mute your device, so I'm only hearing those individuals I need to be talking to one at a time. All right. So let me just make some initial announcements. Good morning. My name is Diane Bessen. I'm the judge presiding over this calendar. This is the criminal status calendar for April 22nd, 2021. Let me first tell you that this is being broadcast over YouTube Live, even though I'm in the courtroom, and sometimes we do have individuals come into the courtroom to participate. Most of this is being conducted virtually over Zoom. And I say that because for those of you that are defendants, please keep in mind that anything you say is not only heard by the folks on this call, but anyone that might be listening on YouTube. Additionally, because of that, I'm going to say that for those of you that would like to have a private discussion, either with your attorney or your, let me get these folks a minute, with your attorney or the prosecutor about your case, if you let me know, I can put you in a private breakout room, which is a sort of an isolated virtual room where you can have a private discussion with either your attorney or the prosecutor. And let me say, we've got a lot of folks on today. What I'm going to do first is we've got a number of pleas that are ready, and I'd like to take those first so I can get those folks out of here. And then I am going to also take cases with private counsel, just so I can also get those folks off the call and then deal with the remainder of the cases. So let me, are the plea cases the only cases that say plea?
No.
Okay, there are more. Okay, so let me find out first from Mr. Walker, do you have any pleas that are ready?
So Attorney Strobel handled my last arraignment calendar, and I believe in his discussion with Nina Ware, she is position 21 and 22. She agreed to take a negotiated plea.
21. That's a plea? All right.
I'm not sure if she's returned the paperwork though.
Yes, Your Honor. I sent her paperwork for 21 and 22 right after court. I checked my email. It was never returned to me. I don't know if she sent it to someone else.
All right. And I didn't see Miss Ware on the call. Nina Ware, are you on the call? I don't see her.
Strobel can do the pleas that he has, because he has a lot that are ready.
All right. So Dustin, you've got a lot of pleas that are ready. So I'll start with those.
Okay. Any particular one we're starting with, or
whatever you've got ready.
Okay, I just said I guess we'll do Brandon Edson first.
Do you know what position that is?
That was a carryover from, I want to say.
Oh, on the add-on?
No, he's from Tuesday calendar, position 1.
Okay. Let's see if I've got that. Brandon Eidson, that's it. Okay. And Mr. Eidson, are you on the call?
I just saw him.
I saw him. He's at work.
He has a beard. He should be very visible.
Oh, I did see him a minute ago. Brandon Idson, are you on the call? We're ready to take your plea, sir. I did see him and now I'm not seeing him. All right, let me come back to that. I'm gonna call, let me just a minute. Let's see, Devon Moss is a plea. Jasmine, is that case ready?
No, Your Honor. I had trouble getting in contact with Mr. Moss. I do see that he's on the call. And I expect that he still wishes to plead, but I had trouble getting in contact with him to go over the paperwork.
All right, do you want to speak with him privately in a breakout room?
Please.
All right, Mr. Moss, and I'm not sure I'm seeing him. There you, no, Devon Moss. I do see you. I'm going to send you an invite to a breakout room. There you will click on that and you will speak to your attorney, Miss Moses Counts. And then when you're finished, come back into this main room so I can get an announcement from you. I'm going to send you to breakout room 2. Devon and how is she listed? Jasmine, there we go. All right, you two should get an invite to join breakout room 2. Come back here when you're finished. Okay. All right, let's get some, I've got signed paperwork on. Amanda Escamilla. That was an add-on, was that the add-on? Yes, all right. Amanda Escamilla, is she on the call? Now Brandon's trying to get back in. Is Miss Amanda on the call? Mr. Idson, we're going to come back to you, sir.
I'm right here, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Got dropped somehow.
That happens. I'm going to come back to you shortly. Is Amanda on the call? Let's try another one. Tracy Reeves, let's see, Billy Daniel.
Good morning, Your
Is
Honor.
Attorney Reeves on the call?
Yes, Your Honor. Tracy Reeves on behalf of Mr. Daniel, and Mr. Daniel is on the.
This is Aisha. 3 in the add-on. Thank you. All right, there we go. I can take a plea. Is your client on the call?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it listed as Chad Daniel? Is that the gentleman?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, sir. This is, so I need takedown on this. I'm not sure who my court reporter is. Is it Jan or someone else?
Yes, I'm going to do takedown.
Thank you, Jan. We'll try and speak slowly for your benefit. This is the state of Georgia versus, I've got it listed as Billy Chad Daniel, case number 21CR 00092J. It's a charge of battery, family violence, first offense. Mr. Daniel is here and he's being represented by Tracy Reeves. Let me go ahead first and just swear him in, and then I'll get some information from Mr. Strobel, the prosecutor. Mr. Daniel, could you raise your right hand where I could see it, sir? Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Strobel, what are the terms of negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The terms are 12 months probation, undergoing complete family violence intervention program, undergoing complete alcohol drug use evaluation and treatment, and have no violent contact with the victim. Give me 1 second here and I can get you their name.
It's going to be Robert DeRosa.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. Robert DeRosa.
Thank you. So that's no further contact with Robert
Your Honor, it's no-
DeRosa. Thank
no
you.
violent Contact.
All right, Mr. Reeves, is this your understanding of a negotiated plea?
Your Honor, my understanding is that it's no violent contact.
Yeah, it is no violent contact, Your Honor.
Sorry, then it'll be no violent contact.
And
What-
Your Honor, we are asking for first offender treatment, and I do not believe that Mr. Strobel is opposed to that.
We are not, Your Honor.
Okay. And there's also a charge of criminal trespass. Is he pleading to both?
No, Your Honor, I'll have to file a null process for that. I'm a little bit behind on the null process.
Okay. Yeah, I know you were out a few days. Okay. Mr. Daniel, you've discussed this plea with your attorney. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand what you're entering a guilty plea to today?
Yes.
You understand by entering this plea that you're giving up your right to have a trial on these charges. Was that explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have your plea sheet here, and I'm just going to sort of show you on the video. Does this look familiar to you that you filled this out, sir?
Yes.
And did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of the information on that sheet?
No.
All right, and so the terms, negotiated terms of the plea are 12 months, credit for time served, for you to take a domestic violence intervention program, have an alcohol evaluation and any recommended treatment, and to have no further contact with Mr. DeRosa. You understand that if you fail to complete those, I'm sorry, no further violent contact. I knew you were just going to say that, Aisha. Thank you. No further violent contact with the victim. You understand that if you fail to complete these items or report to probation, they will bring the case back to me, and you might have to serve the balance of the 12 months in jail. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're entering this plea freely and voluntarily. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
And you've not been promised anything or threatened in any way in order to enter this plea?
No.
All right, and so this is being accepted on the First Offender Act. You'll be notified, Mr. Reeves, from Ms. Hardy about probation. Your client is to sign up for probation within 48 hours. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion from the from the state to withdraw the plea for failure to comply with the terms. Did you have any comments, Mr. Reeves, that you wanted to make to the court?
Your Honor, I was going to ask, would Your Honor entertain an order to restrict Mr. Daniel's records now until his probation is concluded?
I can't do it now. So I was told we're going to have a record restriction Juneteenth, actually. I don't know if at that time he will qualify. He will have had to have completed everything. And that's what I'm a little concerned about. The domestic violence program is a long program. And I think he may have to wait until the next record restriction program that we have, which may be at the end of the year,
Okay.
to attempt to do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Daniel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll accept the plea then. You gentlemen are free to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good to see you.
I am going to go back to position one, which is Brandon Eidson, and I know he's back on the call. Mr. Eidson, good morning. Can you unmute your device, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I just did.
Thank you. And whose case is this? Is this yours, Brandon? I mean, Dustin?
It's my case, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so let's do a takedown on this. This is the case of the state of Georgia versus Brandon, Brandon, Eidson, DSON, case number 05CR308684J. What are the terms of the negotiated plea, Mr. Strobel?
Yes, sure. My understanding he's going to be entering a NOLA plea to the reckless driving. He has received 12 months probation, undergoing an alcohol and drug use evaluation and treatment. Upon the completion of the evaluation and any necessary treatment, which he assures me he probably won't have any since this case is so old, probation can terminate. And Your Honor, we're asking the court to waive the first month's of probation fees to facilitate that.
Waive the first month. Okay. Mr. Eidson, could you raise your right hand where I can see it, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you. So my understanding of the negotiated plea is 12 months probation to do an alcohol evaluation, any treatment, and then upon completion of that, your probation will terminate and it's a no-low plea. Is that your understanding of the plea, sir?
Almost. My understanding was just an alcohol evaluation. That was my, there was no any other conditions. So I'm not.
So the evaluation, normally what that is they do an evaluation, and if in fact they feel that your condition is such that you need alcohol program or treatment, usually that's just a program, or AA, that they would order that. So that's normally what's done. It doesn't mean that you'll have to do it. It just means you take the evaluation, and if based on the evaluation, they feel you, that drinking is a problem in your life, then they would request you to do some treatment.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay. You understand by entering this plea, you're giving up your right to have a trial. Was that explained to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And I'm just going to sign this paperwork. I've got this, I'm going to show you, if you can see on the screen, your plea statement. Do you recall filling this out, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about any of the information on that?
No, ma'am, I'm completely aware now. Thank you.
Okay, and so as I'm going to waive your first month of probation, so is fees. I'm sorry, for probation. So if you go ahead and get the alcohol evaluation done right away, you'll be finished with probation and you won't have to do anything else. If it takes you longer than that, you'll have to stay on probation and pay probation fees. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if you remember me telling you Tuesday, but I can only get into the evaluation place on May the 1st.
That's fine. I do remember you saying that, and that's fine. You get in on May 1st, you get evaluated. That's in about a week. And then, but you will sign up for probation within the next 48 hours. And you'll explain to them that you have an appointment. And as long as you get that completed within the first 30 days, you won't have to pay probation fee. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am, that is it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Strobel, anything further on this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll accept the plea then. Mr. Eitzen, you're going to be getting an email from Ms. Hardy that has information about signing up for probation. So when you get that, contact probation, and once your evaluation is done, that'll complete the case. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You have to send it back. You're going to have to send the form back to Ms. Hardy, but you'll get the email and that should be clear to you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, Your
Thank you
Honor.
very much. You're free to go, sir. So let me find out, did Miss Escamilla is she back on the call or not? Amanda? No. Okay, so I'll come back to that. I do have another plea. Antika Kirkland. Is Miss Kirkland on the call? Antika Kirkland.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Should be, Your Honor.
All right. Can I see your face? This is your case, Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this on the add-on or where is this?
Position 7 on Tuesday.
On Tuesdays. There it is. Okay. Good morning, Miss Kirkland.
Good morning.
I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, please, where I can see it. Do you swear or affirm a testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You can put your hand down.
Thank you.
If I can just ask, is that a child you're holding or?
Yeah, it's my baby.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask maybe if you can sit in one place so that you can sort of concentrate on what I'm asking you. That would be helpful.
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is the case of the state of Georgia versus Antika, Antika Kirkland, Kirkland, case number 16CR 006274J. She's represented by Miss Moses Counts, and I believe Mr. Strobel, this is your case. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, and what are the terms of a negotiated plea?
Your Honor, is 24 months probation, served 1 day, $1,000 fine plus court costs and surcharges, 80 hours of community service, alcohol, drug use evaluation and treatment, victim impact panel, DUI risk reduction school.
To which charge?
It'd be the DUI less safe and to failure to obey a traffic control device, Your Honor.
All right, and so I do not have her signature waiver on jury trial. I hate to say. We're gonna have to get, let me just ask her, Ms. Kirkland.
Yes,
I want to ask you a question. Do you understand that you had the right to have a jury trial on these charges? Were you aware of that?
yes,
And you are, by taking this plea, waiving your right to have a trial by jury, and you're going to proceed with this plea today. Is that correct?
yes.
All right. Let me just indicate that I've asked it on the record, and it was approved by the defendant. All right. So, Ms. Moses Counts, is that your understanding of the negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to state for the record that Ms. Kirkland does not reside in Georgia. She does reside in Washington, D.C. I've made her aware that it would be her responsibility to find the appropriate facility for the community service. Should you be inclined to, since we are still in the pandemic, I don't know what your stance is, Your Honor, on community service, but should you have her complete community service, I did make her aware that it would be her responsibility to find a facility in her area, as well as the alcohol drug evaluation facility, victim impact panel, in the risk reduction school.
Okay, so let me say, I'm not going to, at this time, suspend the community service. However, Ms. Kirkland, you probably need to concentrate on getting the fine paid, taking the, getting the evaluation, and doing the victim impact panel. And then if you complete all those items, I will consider suspending the community service because of the pandemic. So can we state, I'm sort of not sure how to do that on the probation order, Aisha. Can you, you'll figure out a way to write that up? Okay.
Your Honor, I would also ask, in lieu of the amount of the fine and that she will have to pay for the evaluation in the school, if you would consider waiving all probation fees throughout this duration.
I will waive 6 months. I think she does have a lot to do and a lot to pay, so I'll waive 6 months of the probation fees. If you find, Ms. Kirkland, that you're still struggling to pay those fees, but you're working on getting the fines paid and doing the other items, you just would need to ask probation to contact me to waive some additional fees.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, Ms. Kirkland, let me ask you some questions. You understand what you're entering a guilty plea to, is that correct?
Yes,
And again, you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up your right to have a trial on these charges. Was that explained to you?
yes, it was.
And you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily, is that correct?
Yes,
You've not been promised anything or threatened in any way in order to enter this plea?
no, I have not.
And again, I've got your plea statement here. Do you recall filling this out? This long form that you sent back about your, I think you
Did it
signed it.
together on the phone, Ms. Kirkland.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, I see. You signed it with express permission. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the information on that form, ma'am?
no, thank you.
All right. And so do you have any questions about the plea you're taking today?
No, the only question I would have is, I would have probably with Ms. Moses is if I can have the $1,000 fine either waived or reduced because I have a newborn. Well, he's not newborn, but he's 7 months. I'm currently working, but because of the pandemic, my hours have got cut, and so I'm really financially I'm not stable, and it's going to be really hard for me to try to get $1,000 paid. Honestly.
So
And is-
I have explained, you're going to be on probation for 2 years. So the duration of the probation time is the time that you have to get all of these terms completed.
Okay.
So as long as you're paying something bit by bit, you're not going to be revoked. You're not going to have any issues with the probation time. So you have 2 years. That's
Right.
what the 24 months is for.
Okay,
Let me
thank
just
you.
say, I am going to reduce that to $700. I was concerned when I saw she had a newborn, so I'll reduce the fine to 700 from 1,000. I hope that helps you out a little bit, ma'am.
It does. Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's all.
All right, you're going to get an email. You're going to get an email about signing up for probation. You need to sign up for probation within 48 hours. It's very important
Okay.
for you to do that. If you fail to do that, I may be asked to withdraw the plea. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right. If that's it, you're free to go, Ms. Kirkland. Thank you and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Kenneth Walton.
We're here, Your Honor.
Yes, you were here the other day. What position was that? Or is it back on the new calendar?
No, it's 14.
I got it. Kenneth Walton. All right, let me go ahead and state for the record, this is the case of the state of Georgia versus Kenneth Walton, case number 17CR008416J. And let's see, counsel for Mr. Walton is Mr. Jones. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
And I believe this is Mr. Strobel's case as well. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so what are the terms of the plea as you understand it?
12 months probation, serve 1 day, credit for time served, $300 fine, 40 hours community service, alcohol, drug use evaluation and treatment, victim impact panel, and DUI risk reduction class. And this is a plea to a DUI less safe, Your Honor.
All right, so this is to less safe. It's I'm gonna just repeat this as I write it down, a $300 fine, 12 months credit for the 1 day, 40 hours community service, alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment, 1 victim impact panel, and risk reduction class, which is standard for a first. Mr. Jones, is that your understanding of a negotiated plea?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, and I'm going to ask if your client can raise his right hand. Mr. Walton, do you swear or affirm a testimony that you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth, sir?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Have you discussed this case with your attorney, sir?
Yes, I have.
Do you understand what you're entering a guilty plea to today?
Yes, I do.
You understand by entering this plea that you're giving up your right to have a trial on this matter. Was that explained to you?
Yes, it was.
You're entering this plea freely and voluntarily. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You've not been threatened in any way or promised anything in order to enter this plea. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm also going to show you, I think this form was sent to your attorney and hopefully you went over this with him. Did you have any questions about that form, sir, about your entering of the plea?
No question.
All right. And so you understand, you have 12 months to complete these items. Can he go non-reporting once he completes everything?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not opposed to that.
All right. And was there a request for, because this is a first, is there a request for a certificate of first conviction?
I believe there is, Your Honor. The state does not oppose.
Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So that gets signed here. And I don't know, Aisha, how we get those two.
He has to email his forms and then I can mail him my forms.
Okay. So you mean the probation?
Yeah, I need the probation form and I sent him a suspension form to fill out.
Okay.
Well, this is probably.
Okay, so I guess, Mr. Jones, there have been some forms that Ms. Hardy has emailed to you, and when you get those back, I am going today to sign the DUI notice of first affidavit of first conviction. We'll have it here in the file. When those forms get sent back to Ms. Hardy, then she'll be able to mail that so that your client can go ahead and get a limited driving permit.
All right. Thank you.
Do you have any questions, sir, Mr. Jones?
No, we have those forms and we are working on them and we will be getting them back shortly.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Walton?
No, no, thank you.
All right, anything further, Mr. Strobel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so that completes that plea. If there's nothing further on that, you're free to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Let me just make notes of which pleas I've taken here. Okay,
And Jasmine just had the paperwork for Divine Law.
okay, well, let me, for who?
Divine Moss.
And which position was that?
And I'm also ready on Nortavius Dean. He's also on the call for a plea.
Divine Moss's position first thing.
Okay, so let me go ahead and take Devon Moss. Because I understand that plea is now ready. Is Mr. Moss back on the call?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Moss, can you let them see your face, please?
Oh, there he is. All right, and if I could get, there you go. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing fine. This is a case of the state of Georgia versus Nortavius. Oh, wrong one. Oops. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Let's try this one. This is the state of Georgia versus Davon, D-A-V-O-N, Moss. It's case number 19-CR003720J. He's represented by Ms. Moses Counts, and this is, again, Mr. Strobel's case. I understand, Mr. Strobel, there's a negotiated plea on this. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what are the terms of the plea?
He is to receive a 12 months probation, $300 fine, deaf counseling class, and he is to stay away from 3675 Zip Industrial Boulevard in Atlanta. The case can be non-reported upon completion of terms.
Okay, and what, that address, is it a store? What is it? Do we know?
It's a business, Your Honor. I think it's
Okay.
a spa of some sort or so on.
Okay. Ms. Moses Couts, is that your understanding of a negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I would also ask if you would consider waiving at least 3 months of the probation fees.
Okay, I'll waive 2 months.
Okay.
He's really just, I know the payment may be a problem, and I'll waive 2 months. Mr. Moss, could I ask you to raise your right hand where I could see it, sir? Do you swear or affirm a testimony you're going to give in this case is the truth and the whole truth, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You've discussed this with your attorney, is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand what you're entering a guilty plea to today?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you had the right to have a trial. By entering this plea, you understand you're giving up that right. Was that explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
I have your plea statement here, which I believe we just got emailed back here. Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about any of the information on that form?
No, ma'am.
All right, and so you're going to be on probation till you complete the theft class and you pay the $300 fine.
Do I have to pay for the deaf class? If so, how much is it?
Do we know how much that is?
Probation, it's a one-day class.
It's a 1-day class. Probation will let you know. Unfortunately, I can't give you any more information on that. I don't know what that is. I have to
Okay.
waive your probation fees for 2 months. Let me waive it for 3 months. Let me just waive it for 3 months. I'm sorry. I'll waive it for the 3 months as requested and hope you can get those items taken care of. Do you have any questions, sir, about the plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, anything
Honor,
further?
if you could just keep Mr. Moss, and put us briefly back into, a breakout room, just so I can answer the questions for this probation sheet.
Okay, and so, Mr. Moss, are you able, at the bottom of your screen, it may ask you to rejoin a breakout room. Are you able to do that? Let's see.
I
Does
don't
it-
see anything yet.
All right, I'm going to move you both to room number 1. We'll try that.
Thank you.
See if you get an invite for room number 1. There he goes. Okay. Oh, no, she went. Let's see. Mr. Moss, did you see an invite to join room number 1?
Yeah, I see it now.
Click on that, sir. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to give you back this paperwork. I think I forgot to give you that. All right, I'm going to go through the calendar right now. I know I've got some private counsel on here. I'm going to try and get rid of you. Stacy LaRoe, Ben Sessions. Is anyone on the call for this? Oh, there he is, Mr.
Diane.
Sessions. Good morning.
Just the case was assigned to Mr. Braxton before. I'd like to be able to talk to the prosecutor again about this case.
That would be Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker, can I reach out to him after this, and can we get a short reset to another status?
I guess so. I mean, I could have you speak to him now if you want, but if that's not convenient, I can let you do that when you feel like you can do that.
I can absolutely hang around, Judge. I just didn't want to clog up him.
All right. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put the two of you in a breakout room 3.
Thank you so much.
Chat for a minute, and then when you're done, come back and make an announcement. And let's see if I can send you there. Ian Walker, where is he? There you are, breakout room 3. All right. Ian, you should get that in a minute. Is he frozen? He is frozen. I don't know if he's going to be there. Mr. Walker, have we lost you? Now he's gone. All right. Let me just go through some of these cases I private counseled. Position 6, Gary Bing, Mr. Rooks.
In position 2, we had counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm present. My client is present. We need to talk to the prosecutor to see if we could resolve it.
All right. So that's Mr. Strobel's case. Let me send you to a breakout room in just a minute. Let me just get some of these other announcements on some of his other cases before I do that. The next case, McInerney, Mr. Ward, good morning.
Morning, Judge.
Is there an
Judge,
announcement on that?
Judge, my announcement is, and I've been in touch with Mr. Strobel on this, but this is a situation where Mr. McInerney does not have any cognitive intellectual activity about what happened. He can't remember his reasoning, his thinking of what happened. This is the gentleman that had a serious head injury after this arrest. He's endured 3 brain surgeries, and I've supplied, I know you judge, and the prosecutor from his neurosurgeon up at Boston. But based on his injury and these operations, he has a memory loss that stemmed from those, and he has cognitive deficits. He's got neurological deficits, disabilities, and he has no rational understanding of what's happened to him. He doesn't remember getting arrested. I don't believe he even remembers being in Atlanta, Georgia. So our position is not necessarily that the fact that he can't, that a person cannot remember a crime. I'm not arguing that that would be excusable from prosecution, but I am arguing the fact that he's incompetent. That is
Right. He's not able to adequately assist in his defense is where you're headed.
correct. It should be excusable from prosecution.
Right. And so let me just say, I don't know what the state's position is on this and to what extent you've talked to Mr. Strobel, but if the state at this point isn't willing to do anything, I think the next stage would be to put it on a motions calendar for the court to consider that. That's really the only place we can go with this. So if the state,
And Your Honor, I'm not opposed to putting on a motions calendar. I did ask him to provide me, the letter I got didn't have anything about his long-term recovery prospects. So I did ask Mr. McInerney to, if he could get something that deals with that aspect of it from the neurosurgeons. And of course, I will be speaking with this case with Mr. Brown. But right now, probably the best thing to do is put it on a motions and we'll continue to work and see if this is appropriate or not, Your Honor.
okay, so yeah, I would suggest, Mr. Ward, you file a motion that to the extent that he's unable to assist and then whatever further documentation you can supply the court and we'll hear it at the motions calendar.
Okay. And Judge, I don't believe he's able to travel. He just really, I don't have a specific time frame, but like last year when he was going to his weekly therapy, they had to call an ambulance to take him. He's now able to walk with a walker, but I don't think he can travel. So I'll get a waiver from him.
Okay, and then we can potentially do it virtually. I mean, I had
Well,
motions
yeah.
this morning virtually, so that would probably be the best way to handle that. All right,
Okay.
so the motions, I'm going to set it down probably sometime after, we're already at May, aren't we? It'll be in June or later. We don't have some of those calendars set yet, but maybe you two can also work, with Mr. Strobel and maybe with his supervisor and see what can be done. And maybe there's some additional documentation you can get from his physicians. Okay.
I'll do my best, Judge. These neurosurgeons are tough to
I know.
pin down, especially up in Boston. But I will certainly make a gallant effort. And his wife's been a great aid to me getting stuff since she's up there with him.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Let me
Judge.
go back. I see Mr. Sessions is back.
Condition two.
Okay.
We have got Miss LaRue's case. We've got it worked out.
Is it going to be a plea?
It will be a plea, Judge.
Okay. So I may be able to set that for in May?
May 19th or 20th.
May 20th. You'll get the paperwork and we can just take that virtually and assuming that's, and I know it is an older case, so hopefully that was both sides were amenable to getting it resolved.
We were, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So that'll be set for May 20th. You'll get some paperwork from Mr. Walker, have your client sign that ahead of time, get it back to us, and we'll take the plea on that date. Okay?
Thank you so much. And that's all I have, Judge.
Great. Thank you. The next case is Latoya Mitchell. Oh, I'll come back.
Briefly, Your Honor, I'm back with Mr. Moss. He just wanted to make sure he was free to leave.
Yes, he is. Thank you.
And I'm also ready whenever you are on Mr. Dean.
Okay, Latoya Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here, Samad Mubin, for Ms. Mitchell. I was recently retained on this case. It was continued for her to get counsel, which is done. I filed a entry in motions this morning electronically. I don't think it's been accepted yet, but that's pending right now. And I'm on.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is reset this for another status. I'm glad she got counsel. That was part of the holdup here. This is Mr. Walker's case, and you can reach out to him and maybe work something out once you've had a chance to look at whatever discovery there is.
I'll certainly do that. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we'll notice you probably about 6 to 8 weeks for another status calendar. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Judge. Again, this is Mr. Walker's case.
Yes.
Do you need my email or anything?
You know what? I was gonna look up in the bar directory, but yeah.
I'll
if
put
you
it in
just
the
send
chat
to
if
me
you
in
stick around
chat,
for 2
that'd be great.
seconds.
What's
Thank
up?
you. I'll put it in the chat if you stick
Please
around
do.
for 2 seconds.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to send Mr. Strobel and Mr. Rooks to breakout room 1. Oh, no, I can't do that now. I'm going to send you to breakout room 4. Yes,
Good morning,
wait.
Your Honor.
Yes. Oh, no, I'm sending, this is position 6.
Yeah, I was representing Miss.
Oh,
Just very
what were
quickly,
you
Your Honor.
saying?
Yeah, this is position
Yes.
2, Latoya Mitchell. I was representing Miss Mitchell. Now that she's hired private attorney, I'm just asking leave to withdraw.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Just go ahead and file something, get it to Aisha. And let me send Mr. Rooks and Mr. Strobel to breakout room 4. Charles, there it is.
My client is online under the name of Tiffany Bing, if he could be allowed in the room also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Breakout room 4. When you get that invite, click on it. When you're finished, come back here so I can get an announcement from everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that's going to be reset. And is someone here on position 9, Ramon or Raymond Mack from Scott Smith's office?
That's my case, Your Honor. Good
Oh,
morning.
Casey, good morning.
Good to see you.
Is there an announcement on that?
We're going to announce ready, Your Honor.
Okay, and that's Mr. Walker's case. You gentlemen were not able to work out anything. Okay, is that right?
I guess not, Your Honor. We will see each other at trial.
Okay, and just be, I don't know if the victim is in touch with, this is from 2017. I don't know if the victim is still in touch with the solicitor's office, but certainly that may affect whether or not there's some other kind of offer to be had on that.
I mean, if the state is unable to make its case, the state will certainly file the appropriate motions, but at this time, we are prepared to proceed.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Cleaver.
Thank you, Your Honor. With that, may I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Position 14, Mr. Maloof, good morning.
Judge, morning. How are you today? That's
Doing
Danielle.
fine. Yes.
That case, I've spoken to the state. There's one last thing I need to do. They're going to keep an offer open until May 21st, I believe. That point in time, we'll either say ready for trial or take the offer. She's not present. I want to bring that to the court's attention. She's been present in all our hearings. That is my office's fault. I am without a secretary that does a good job of informing clients, and I do a terrible job. And so she did not get notice of today from my office.
Okay.
I did text her. She's having trouble logging on, but I just want to make the court aware that she wasn't present, not through her own fault, through my office's fault. We're close to a resolution, I hope. And I believe that discussions not necessary today will facilitate a plea in this case.
So what I'm going to do is put this on, and I'll let Mr. Strobel know, he's in the breakout room, but I'm going to put this on a final plea calendar. I'm not obligating you to the final plea, but this will at least set a date certain. It'll probably be early June, so that we'll know that date is passed and either you're ready to take a plea or it's going to be set down for trial. Mr. Strobel just rejoined us, so I'm going to let him know. This is position 14, Mr. Maloof's case, Daniel Bruckner. We're going to set that on a final plea calendar sometime the beginning of June. He says he's got an open offer from you till May 21st. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll see you sometime the beginning of June, and either it'll be worked out. If it is worked out and you're ready to take a plea on that final plea calendar, certainly have the paperwork ready to go and we can take the plea virtually. Okay?
Will do, Judge, and I'll have a office assistant at that time, so it'll be more organized. I really, really, really apologize about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
The next case I'm going to, let me find out, Mr. Strobel, is there an announcement on position 6?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rook is going to be sending me some mitigation evidence that might suggest that they say will suggest his client wasn't driving that day. We're asking just be placed on the next plea calendar for us to receive that evidence and evaluate it.
So I will put you on a final plea calendar and either something will be resolved by then or we'll move it over to a trial calendar. Okay, Mr. Rooks?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, that'll probably be, again, the beginning of June is what we're anticipating. All right?
That's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. You and your client are free to go.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'm going to jump to, who did I just have? Hold on. Miss Dyksen's case, position 18. That's supposed to be a plea?
No, Judge Bessen, we haven't, it's not a plea, I'm sorry. We haven't discussed it yet. I think Mr. Walker's now handling both cases. So if we could just, we've been playing phone tag. If we could just go to breakout room and discuss the state's offers, that would be great.
Okay. Is your client also on the call?
Yes, I'm sorry. He's on and it says Denise Woodard.
All right. Do you want
Good
him
morning,
also
Your
in the
Honor.
breakout room? Good morning.
I'd prefer to start on my own if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine. Everyone. So I'm going to send you to room 4. Dustin, if you could rejoin that.
This is
It's
Ian's case,
Ian.
Your Honor.
Oh,
This is Mr. Walker's case.
Is Mr. Walker's case?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
worries.
So I'm going to send you to room 3. If you could rejoin that, Ian, and Ms. Dyksen, I'm going to send you to breakout room 3.
Okay, and I'll just let my client know. I'll be back. We'll be in touch shortly. Okay. Mr.
Yeah, don't go
Wilson?
anywhere, Mr. Woodward. I mean, I'm sorry, Mr.
That's
Wilson.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And then position 20, Manal, where are you? I saw you somewhere. Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor. Good to see you, Judge.
Good to see you. Do you have an announcement on this case?
Yeah, Judge, this case was entered into the diversion program, right, Mr. Strobel?
Yes, I just sent Miss Mal the paperwork this morning that was signed off. I think there might be 1 or 2 more steps. Probably best case is just to set this down for a status hearing in about a month or so, just to make sure everybody's enrolled and doing good.
Okay, that sounds good. So we'll set it down just so we know it's been handled, so we don't lose track of it. And then hopefully we won't see it again and your client will finish out whatever the requirements are for PTI. And that'll be that.
Okay, great, Judge. Do we have a new date or should I just wait to get something from Ms. Hardy?
How busy is that May 20th?
Um,
May 20th. That's a few
Okay.
weeks out, but hopefully you should know by then. And if it's handled ahead of time with PTI, you can just let Ms. Hardy know and you won't need to appear. We'll just know ahead of time that it's been accepted and being worked on through PTI.
Excellent. Okay, Judge, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes my business. May me and my client be excused.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Ms. Schaefer, position 23, Marco Todorovic. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. I've spoken with Mr. Strobel, and as I said, my client is one of those that's in the Forsyth County Jail. Several other counties he's going to be having charges from those. And so Mr. Strobel agreed that perhaps I can do a plea in absentia for him.
Okay.
And I would like to, he also needs to know when is the first date that my client went into the jail. I'll be giving Mr. Strobel that as soon as I can get that information. And then I just need, how much time do I have to go and get that plea in absentia and get it back to you, Judge?
Okay, and so where is he being held right now?
He's in the Forsyth County Jail on, it's several burglary charges and.
All right, I'm going to set this down in June, probably the beginning of June, to give you a month to sort of be able to get out there and get the paperwork taken care of. And then it'll be set on a June calendar, but if you get the paperwork and are able to bring the check down here to Miss Hardy, assuming you know what that is, we can sort of just handle it whenever it's ready.
If I can ask Mr. Strobel, do you have an amount, Dustin?
Well, it wouldn't be a fine. This is just So it sounded like this just needs to be a straight served sentence with no fines. I would say 12 months with the credit for time served. If he get, I'm sure he'll get 2 for 1. That should take care of him for as long as this case has been on the.
So I guess you're going to need to know how long he's been incarcerated, and they're going to give him credit for time served. So if
Right.
that's the case, you can just get the paperwork filled out ahead of time. And you and Dustin, as long as everyone is signed off on it, get it to Miss Hardy. But I will set it on a June calendar just so we have a drop dead date. Okay?
I will. Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see you.
I see Mr. Matthews is here. Also, let's see, what position is your case?
Hey, Judge, I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Good morning, first of all.
Good morning.
Judge, I represent Tracy Moorer.
Thank you.
She was required to hire private counsel. She didn't
Yes.
qualify. So I've just gotten on this case. So we are intending to enter an appearance and get some discovery in this case. And hopefully if the court sets it up for a June calendar, that will give me time to speak with the prosecutor and see what's going on with this case.
Okay, and I guess you're aware, on these gun charges, they have taken a pretty serious stance on these, given the environment we live in and the gun violence in the city. So I'll give you some time. I think that's reasonable. We'll put you on a June calendar. I'm glad that she has representation at this time. I think that's important. So we will see you back sometime the beginning of June. Did you have any questions, Ms. Moore? No.
Ms. Moore, you're on. I think she's good.
Okay, she'll be in touch with you then. Okay, and it'll be sometime in June. We'll see you both. Oh, there she is. You stay in touch with your attorney, ma'am. Okay, I'm glad you were able to hire counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Is that going to be Mr. Strobel's case?
No,
that
it's
would be
Mr.
Mr.
Walker.
Mr. Walker.
An odd number case, Ian Walker.
Ian Walker. Okay, got it. I'll reach out to Mr. Ian Walker. Is he on his phone? Right.
Ian, do you want to send him your chat him your contact information? Oh, Ian's not here. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll get it, Judge.
Maybe Miss Hardy can send that to you. He's in a breakout room. I forgot.
Okay, I'll hang out until I get that information and I'll reach out to Mr. Ian Walker.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. May I be excused after I get that information?
Yes. Yep, thank you.
Pleasure to see the court.
Miss Moses Counts, thank you, ma'am. Miss Moses Counts, you said you had a plea that was ready?
Yes, ma'am, on Nortavius Dean. Negotiated
Yes.
plea.
I do have that paperwork. Is that on today's calendar? Oh, no. Hold on, I'm just looking for where it is. 5208. Okay, it's not on this calendar, so it must be on, was it on Tuesday's calendar?
I'm not sure. This was a reset because Mr. Dean at first believed that he already pled out to this case, and then upon further.
Oh, that was days and days ago.
Right.
So, yeah, okay, let me just make a note. All right, so we are going to, your client's on the call?
Yes, he's wearing the green and gold. Can you wave, Mr. Dean, so she can spot you?
Oh, I see him up in the top.
Yes.
All right. All right, so let me do a takedown. This is the case of the state of Georgia versus Nortavius Dean, Nortavious. Excuse me, Dean. It's a count of disorderly conduct. The case number is 20CR005208J. And he's represented by Miss Moses Counts, and this is Mr. Strobel's case. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what are the terms of negotiated plea, Mr. Strobel?
Your Honor, it's just a 12-month suspended sentence with no violent contact with ADASIA Wells. Basically, we think all the terms he did, he would done in the case that we would request that he was completed in the case that he pled out to. That should have included this one.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Moses Counts, is that your understanding of a negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. We also we're hoping to stipulate to no probation fees in lieu of the agreement that me and Mr. Strobel made. This case came subsequent, or actually came before, I'm sorry, the case that he actually did plea out and did numerous things in order to complete that probation. And so the agreement to avoid any plea and bars issues were for him to have a suspended sentence and the no probation fees.
So because there's a no further contact, he's to sign it for probation, but I'm going to waive, he does not need, it's non-reporting, and I'm going to waive any fee.
Correct. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Dean, if I could get you to raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm a testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth, sir?
Do.
Thank you. You've discussed this case with your attorney, is that correct, sir?
I have.
You understand what you're entering a guilty plea to today?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you have the right to have a trial. By entering this plea, you understand you're giving up that right. Was that explained to you? Oh, have we lost you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It was explained. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes. I have your plea sheet
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Do you recall, I know you just spoke with your attorney. Do you remember going over this information with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of that information, sir?
I don't.
All right, and so the court's going to accept the plea to disorderly conduct, and you'll sign it for probation, but you will not have to report after that, and you will not have to pay probation fees. Do you have any questions about the plea, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, please be sure to sign it for probation within 48 hours. But again, you will not pay fees and you will not have to report after you sign up. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Moses Counts, anything further?
No, thank you, Mr. Dean.
All right, Mr. Strobel, that's it?
Nothing. That's it.
All right, you're free to go, Mr. Dean. Thank you. All right, so let me start at, I'm just going to read through, well, let me just see what else is left. Duncan Matthews, is Mr. Matthews on the call? I don't see, is anyone here?
This is his sister. He was on the call and then he, I guess he stepped out because of, I think, the
Here he
confusion
is.
with the lawyer named Matthews.
Yes, yeah, Carrington Matthews. He's coming back into the meeting. I'm sorry, I didn't see, I've got a lot of screens open and sometimes I don't see when somebody's requesting to come back in. It's going to be just a minute. Are you the victim, ma'am?
Hello?
Are you the victim in that case?
I am, but I'm also his sister. And
Okay.
I spoke last time and we were trying to see if the case could be dismissed. And I sent in a letter to seeing if if it could be taken care of if he showed his counseling paperwork.
Okay, I see he's on now. Mr. Matthews, good morning, sir. Duncan Matthews, can you hear me, sir? It looks like he's frozen. Oh, there he is. Mr. Matthews, good morning. He's got bad internet. Can you hear me, Mr. Matthews? I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back to you in a minute. Try and stay with us. I may have to have him phone in. I see Mr. Walker is back.
Yes, I did have the opportunity to speak with counsel. I did provide an updated offer. I will say that the offer on both cases. The state is willing to accept straight community service on both cases, but with that offer, I did give an expiration date of April the 30th. So I don't know if we want to resit it for another status hearing, and if the defendant is amenable to accepting the plea, I can email you and Aisha to sit it for a plea date, but I did advise counsel that past April the 30th, it will not be a straight community service offer, so.
Is that
That's
correct,
right.
Ms. Dykson?
That's correct, Judge. Mr. Walker's making my job very difficult, but I'm going to try to ditch a little follow-up, see if I can reach out to one of the two officers and talk to my client, and then, yeah, we'll let your honor know something, by that date, as we'll let the state know as well. We can either set it down for a plea or maybe it'll be dismissed. You never know.
All right, so I'm going to set it down. We do have a calendar on May 20th.
Okay.
And I'll put it down as a final plea. I'm not obligating you to that, but it'll be with the hopes that something can be worked out. If it is, we can take the plea on that date, have all the paperwork signed. I mean, I know you've been on these calls with me as well. So if you're able to get something worked out, we'll take the plea on that date. If not, we'll just set it down for trial. Okay?
That sounds perfect. That sounds great.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, Judge.
You have, wait. I'm showing you have another.
Well, the defendant has two cases.
Yeah, we just, that's right. I thought they were both on number 18, but we discussed both.
They
of them.
are. Okay, now I see.
And
So
it's
I'm
a
going to
community
put,
service offer on both cases, so hopefully we can work something out.
okay. I have it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We'll talk soon.
So let me go ahead, Mr. Matthews, Duncan Matthews. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I can just jump in here.
Yes.
He actually provided me some information in the past, and all apologies, I kind of dropped the ball on this. The case was actually approved for a dismissal months ago based upon the nature of the relationship between them being brother and sibling and the stuff he's done. I just never got around to filing the paperwork.
Okay, so can you file that maybe later today?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
All right, so Mr. Walker, what he's saying is that they are going to file a null pros. That means they're not going to prosecute the case. Hopefully I'll get a copy of that a little later today. And once that's signed, my staff will send a copy to you. Okay?
They do some community service on both of them joints.
I'm sorry, Judge. Is this for Duncan Matthews' case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm the sister. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Right. And now I'm not, there he is, but yeah, the case is going to be dismissed basically. I mean, it's a null pros. It means they're not going to proceed with the charges. So I should get that later today or early tomorrow. And once that's signed, we'll get a copy to the defendant, your brother, and that'll conclude the case.
All right. Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you. You're free to go. Mr. Walker, are you still here? Yes. If you could chat your information to Mr. Keratin Matthews is on the call, and I think he was waiting for contact from you. Oh, he has it already?
Okay. Okay, we can.
Got it, John. Thank you so much.
You did get it.
Forward. I didn't see an entry from Mr. Matthews, but I would look forward to working with him and just shoot me an email, and we can see what we can resolve with our case.
Yeah, this is position 20, Ian.
Oh, that's got 20 is
on Miss Moore's case, position 19. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, position 19. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I saw 20, the case number. So he'll be in touch with you. Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Matthews.
Let me see. Judge, this is Attorney Terrence Bradley. I'm here for Ms. Hutchison. We were a holdover from on Tuesday.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. Which case is this?
Jessica Hutchison.
Yes, Thursday. You were trying to determine what was their plea in Superior Court and so forth.
That's correct, Judge. I provided some information to ASG Fernandez on last night. I spoke to him today, and he told me that he had been speaking with Mr. Strobel, And so I sent a direct message to Mr. Strobel, but I haven't been able to talk to him.
So tell me, did the plea in Superior Court, was it the same offense or is it a different offense?
So
Judge, Your Honor, I've seen the paperwork. I apologize. I just got it last night. It's the same offense, and it may affect. I would ask that we place this on just another status counter. We may dismiss this charge for primary aggressor reasons. Your Honor, we have to discuss that with Mr. Brown.
Okay, so I'll put this on another status calendar, maybe not till June, because I'll give you some time to work that out. But so we'll notice it for some time in June. I don't have all those calendars set yet, Mr. Bradley, but you'll get notice from Ms. Hardy. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Otherwise, you would have been here to the end. Let me go ahead and see. Let's see where I'm at. Position 10, Najee White. Daryl, that's your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Is your client on the call?
I don't see him on the call. I did have a number for him, which I called. I was unable to leave a message. Also, I did send him the link for the Zoom conference for this morning. I did that on last Monday. So I've not had any contact with him.
I'm going to issue a bench warrant. If you get in touch with him and can get a date set, I'll withdraw it. But for right now, I think that's all I can do. The next case, Victor Jenkins. Is Mr. Jenkins on the call? No. Bench warrant. Position 15. Amina Ansari.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And I know this case sounds familiar to me, but I have no recollection of why.
It's been extended quite a few times.
And so you had an attorney, and who was that?
That was Casey Smith.
Casey Kleber. Oh, Kleber. Okay.
Yeah,
and
I'm
he's
sorry.
withdrawn?
Yes.
All right. So are you able to find another attorney, ma'am?
I pretty much just started working like at the beginning of the year, so I had to get caught up on bills. I wasn't able to obtain a lawyer at the moment because everybody's opinion is so large. And currently I'm 6 months pregnant and it's high risk. So I was speaking with Mr. Strobel and I wasn't against or opposed to the plea. I just had a question about the license being suspended because I haven't had any moving violations or anything since this incident has happened. And I'm not opposed to taking accountability for what I've done. But I just wanted to see if there was anything that could be done as far as not suspending my license.
Yeah, and Your Honor, I explained to her the license would be suspended automatically, but I would not oppose her getting a temporary permit and then she could get it reinstated after the 120-day period.
So with the DUI, there is an automatic suspension of 120 days, but you are able to get, there's a form that I would sign, which would let you have a work permit that enables you to go to work and also basically to complete the terms of your probation. So it really might be, you know, if you've got you're going to have a baby in a few months. What was the offer, Mr. Strobel? Was this a first?
It was a first and it was just minimums across the board, Your Honor. So $300 and 40 hours community service and all that.
So, and I've been pretty lenient with the community service because of COVID and because you're pregnant. I would be willing to suspend the community service. And so what it would be a $300 fine. I'd suspend the 40 hours of community service. You'd have to do a risk reduction class. And was there a victim impact panel or not?
Yes, Your Honor. And an ADET, alcohol drug abuse evaluation.
And an alcohol evaluation. So that would be the terms for basic for a first. I would suspend the 40 hours community service. If that's something you think you're interested in accepting, I could let you speak with Mr. Strobel in a breakout room if you want to sort of ask him any further questions about that.
No, we pretty much, been very good at communicating any questions I've had. I really just fit, and so this is something that I would like to get behind me so that I can move forward with my business and go.
Okay, can we set this down then maybe for a plea date? I'd hate to wait till, well, what do we have? We have in May.
We can do the 20th.
Yeah, if I set this down for a plea on May 20th, would that be all right, Ms. Ansari?
Yes, ma'am.
So what'll happen is Mr. Strobel is going to send you some paperwork and you'll fill that out and get it back to him. And then we can go ahead and take the plea on that date virtually. Okay? She's frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then that's what we'll do. We'll see you back.
I can hear you.
Okay, we'll see you back on May 20th. Mr. Strobel will be in touch with you with paperwork, get that signed and back to him, and then we'll take the plea on that date, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, and Your Honor, she actually already has the plea paperwork, but
So she does.
Yes.
All right, then get that filled
Yeah,
out.
I have another question. I'm sorry.
Yep. Did you have another question?
Yes, when this incident first happened in 2018, they actually took my license, and I have a paper and like an ID. So I mean, they already have it. I don't have anything else to turn in.
Well, so your license probably has not been suspended, even though they have it. But when you go get the paperwork from us after the plea, you'll get a form to take to driver services, and they'll be able to issue a limited driving permit at that time. Okay. All right. All right. We'll see you on the 20th, ma'am. Thank you very much. You're free to go. Position 16, Carlton Webb.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carlton Webb. Bench warrant. Position 17, Shamika Bailey or Denise Bailey. That was supposed to be a plea?
I believe
Bench
so.
warrant.
Yeah.
Is that Stan? I don't know. Well, maybe not. Because I see Stan's iPhone. I don't know who that is. Maybe not.
We'll find out the end of the call. Maybe, I don't know. Nina Ware, position 21 and 22. What do we do on that?
Your Honor, that was supposed to be a plea. She's been actually emailing me saying she couldn't get into the room. She sent me screenshots and stuff, so.
Can you maybe send her the invite one more time? Maybe I can take that plea before she gets.
I will say, I don't believe she sent back the paperwork yet.
She hasn't sent the paperwork back, Your Honor.
Oh, she hasn't? All right, I'll just have to reset that. We'll just have to reset those. Position 24, there's Shantaria Tolliver. That's supposed to be a plea. Shan, is that you? Miss Tolliver, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did she get the paperwork back?
No, she had some concerns that she sent me a chat in the chat. I told her to address that with you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was a bit concerned about the co-parenting part. As well, I was for the month of March, I was pretty much in and out the hospital the whole month. I found out I had fluids on my brain as well. I found out I was pregnant. The last time I was in court, I say a couple of weeks after I end up miscarrying, losing a child. So I'm a bit concerned about a lot of stuff that's going on. I was a store manager, so I stepped down, and it's kind of affecting my pay because I took lesser pay just to step down, with also me having probation and everything that's going on. I really don't know what I'll be paying in probation. I just know about the $500 fine. So I'm just
all right, so let me find out from Mr. Strobel what the plea, I don't know what the plea arrangement was. Mr. Strobel?
Yes, Your Honor. This was going to be a no plea to false report of the crime, 12 months probation, a $500 fine, no contact with, stay away from Adrian Sterling except for third-party custody exchanges, and to cooperate with any investigation or prosecution of Adrian Sterling.
So, the victim and, the alleged victim and she have a child together?
Well, it's not, basically, Your Honor, just to give a report, Mr. Sterling used her car to commit a crime and then called her and told her to report it was stolen, or at least that's the allegations. And that's the basis of the crime. So he's not really a victim, Your Honor. He's more of a, I guess.
Co-conspirator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, but she has a child with this individual.
Right. And when we had talked, I thought they didn't have a problem doing third-party custody exchanges. I thought that was what their current arrangement was.
Okay. And so what's your current arrangement, Ms. Tolliver, with the father of your child?
We do not live together, but I think, okay, it came back on. I think
Yes.
with the co-parenting parties is going to be a bit of an issue. I'm pretty much doing everything on my own.
Okay. Who has custody of the child?
I do.
Okay. Does he have visitation?
He might ask for her every now and then, like for weekends or stuff, or sometimes if it's during school days, she have to take her computer or her tablet with her and stuff like that because she's on virtual learning.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She'll be.
So I guess at this point, I'm going to have to just reset this. It sounds like you're not sure what you want to do, but is that her paperwork? Oh, I can't take the plea today. But it sounds like you have concerns. I'm willing to reduce the fine to $300. But that's all really I can do. The rest of that is within the decision of the, because of your other circumstances, I'd be willing to reduce the fine some, but you'd have to decide if you're interested in taking the plea today or not.
Agree. Yes, ma'am.
So is that you would like to take the plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I think it should be no. Can we change that? But this was with no contact. I don't know that that's gonna.
Well, Your Honor, we do, like I said, we can modify it to no contact except for custody issues.
Okay, that would be, and let's just maybe no violent contact.
It wasn't a.
I know.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like there's some other person involved and that's caused some of the problem. All right, so we'll say no contact other than custody exchanges. Okay. Do you see him for any other reason other than related to the child?
No, ma'am.
All right. So let me go ahead and do a takedown of this. Oh my goodness, I can't read this. Let's see. This is the case of the state of Georgia versus Shanteria Tolliver, Shanteria Tolliver, Tolliver. It's case number 20CR00519HJ. Ms. Tolliver is here as well as Mr. Strobel, who's here for the state. Ms. Tolliver, if I could have you raise your right hand where I could see it, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm a testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Strobel, so let's again repeat what you understand the terms to be of the plea.
Yes, Your Honor, it's going to be 12 months probation. I believe we agreed now upon a $300 fine. No contact with and stay away from Adrian Sterling except for custody exchanges, and to cooperate with any investigation and prosecution of Adrian Sterling.
Okay. So again, I've reduced the fine. You're to have, so this is the only thing you're going to have to do, ma'am, is arrange to pay the fine through probation. Once she pays the fine, she can go non-reporting. Would that be correct, Mr. Strobel?
Yeah, non-report, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. So once you pay the fine, you will not have to report to probation anymore, and you won't have to pay probation fees. Let me go ahead and ask you some questions. You've discussed this with the solicitor. Was that correct, Mr. Strobel?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand what you're entering a no-lo plea to today?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you had the right to have a trial. By entering this plea, you understand that you're giving up that right. Was that explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And I've got your plea sheet here. I don't know how well you can see that. Do you recall filling this out?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions, any further questions about the information on there?
No, ma'am.
All right, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And you've not been promised anything or threatened in any way in order to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, do you have any further questions about the plea you're entering?
No, ma'am.
All right, anything further, Mr. Strobel?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your
All right.
Honor, if I may, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's just on my spirit with this plea because I was able to speak to her before she spoke to Mr. Strobel. And this no contact with this individual to me doesn't seem proper. He's not a victim in the case. I'm not understanding why she can't have contact with him, especially if they share a child. It seems to me the state just, because I'm also confused as to why it's a term, it's her cooperating with his felony prosecution. But nonetheless, I don't think that I think it should have been no violent or harassing contact with him. There's no evidence that this case, they should have no contact. It seems the state is just trying to keep her from speaking with him so that they can further their prosecution of him, which is fine if they're going to prosecute him based on what was shared with me when I first spoke with her. But again, I don't think that that contact provision is proper. I just had to say that. Sorry.
All right. I'm not sure I understand either. I guess I'm going to change it to no violent contact and just leave it at that.
I think that that's the proper thing to do based on, I mean, if the state wants to use her, subpoena her, y'all have that power. And she seems willing to cooperate.
And Your Honor, like I said, my position is she was more of a co-conspirator after the fact in this case. It's very common for co-conspirators to have no contact agreements in their plea arrangements.
And if that's the case, then they need to subpoena her and have her cooperate that way. But telling her for a charge of this nature that she can't have contact with the father of her child, I don't think it's proper. I think it's a cheap way.
I'm going to change it to no violent contact. I don't really understand most of what's transpired here, but I do have some concern because they have a child together. So we'll just change it to no violent contact.
Thank you.
Okay. Miss Tolliver, you're going to get some forms from Miss Hardy about signing up for probation. You need to get those signed and sign up for probation within 48 hours. Otherwise, I may have to consider withdrawing the plea. Okay.
She just sent them and I'm gonna print them out and sign them now and send them right back to her.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you have no questions, you're free to go, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Did Miss Amanda Escamilla ever show up? No. I'm gonna have to do bench warrant for her.
No, I'm sorry. What position is that, Your Honor?
Position 1 on the add-on. And then we also had Sean DeSola that was also supposed to be a plea. Do I have Mr. DeSola here?
I thought he was supposed to come into court because he had missed prior plea dates.
All right, well, that's going to be a bench warrant. I do see we've got Mr.
I've been chatting him.
Kutsemi. He's still, I thought we resolved his case the other day.
Well, Your Honor, the defendant, which I'm kind of concerned, but the defendant has had several cases this week. I've dismissed the first couple of cases because they were rather old.
It's the same cases. It's the same. I just put it on the calendar by mistake again.
Thank you.
All right, you're free to go, sir. Thank you. All right.
For me?
Yes, sir, you're free to go.
And the case is dismissed?
Yes. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you very
All
much, ma'am.
I'm showing that's all we have. Is there anyone else on the call that thinks they have a case?
Mr. Bean should be off the call. I don't know if Gary Bean is still up there.
Yeah, we already took dealt with that. Waiting, and we'll put that on a final plea calendar. All right, so let me go through and read the calendar if I can. I've got some cases. I hopefully go through everything we did today. So we took the plea of Brandon Eidson. That was on the 420 calendar. We also took the plea of Antika Kirkland, which was on the 420 calendar. We took the plea of Kenneth Walton, which was on the 420 calendar. And Jessica Hutchinson is going to be moved to a status calendar sometime in June, did we say? We didn't really say.
No, we're gonna put her, I thought we said May, but it's fine.
All right, we can do May. That's fine. May.
Your Honor, I have May 20th written down.
Okay, and then as for today's calendar, position 1 set for a plea on 5/20. Position 2, reset status. Position 3, no pros. Position 4, no pros. Position 5, no pros. Position 6, Bing, we're going to set for a final plea. Position 7, set for motions calendar. Position 8, no pros. Position 9, announced ready for trial. Position 10, Najee White, not here, bench warrant. Position 11, Victor Jenkins, not here, bench warrant. Position 12, no pros. Position 13, we took a plea on Mr. Moss. Position 14 is going to be set for a final plea calendar in June. Position 15, final plea calendar 5/20. Position 16, Carlton Webb, bench warrant. Position 17, Shamikia Denise Bailey, bench warrant. Position 18, final plea calendar May 20th. Position 19, status calendar in June. Position 20, he's been accepted for PTI. We're going to put it on a status calendar though in May, just to follow up. Position 21, she could not get in. I guess we're going to have to reset that plea. We may have to have her come. That's 21 and 22. May have to have her just report down here if she can't get online. I'll let you decide when to reset that, maybe in May. Position 23, we're going to put it on June calendar. It's going to be a plea in absentia. Hopefully he's still incarcerated. Position 24, we just took that plea on Ms. Tolliver. Position 25, there was an offer. We're going to put it on a final plea calendar on 5/20. Again, he's got 2 cases. The add-on calendar, Amanda Escamilla was supposed to be here for a plea. That's going to be a bench warrant.
Well, she did the paperwork, so I was gonna put it back on the May calendar.
All right, that's May 20th. Mr. DeSola, supposed to be a plea, not here, bench warrant. Position 3 on the add-on, we took a plea. Is there any, I took a plea on, let's see, Nortavius Dean, which was on a previous calendar about 2 weeks ago. We took a plea on disorderly conduct. I'm showing that's what we did. Anything else I missed?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Very, very productive day.
Yes, anytime we can move some cases, that's good.
Yes.
All right. So next week, I'm supposed to have a civil trial. We'll see if that happens. I'll let Jasmine, I know you wanted to see what that voir dire looks like. So if that goes forward, I'll let you know.
You could also send me the link to that as well.
Okay.
Me too.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Send it to the whole gang.
We'll send it to everyone. You can see what virtual voir dire looks like.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the week.
You too.
Bye.
Hey, Judge.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, Jan. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something.
Yes.
Hey, do you think will we be coming back in June? You said something about June a while ago.
Well, I think that we're going to be still having some calendars via Zoom. I mean, I'm down here. I think if people are vaccinated, we're going to start to have more open court. But there's some things I think are handled fine via Zoom, to be fair. However, so what can also happen is we can run these as hybrid, because the way my courtroom's set up is we can have the prosecutors here, we can have you here, we can have the PDs here, but we can also have some people on Zoom and everyone will still be able to see them. So I'm not really sure going forward how this is going to work. I think we're just going to see how it goes.
Okay, I was just wondering, when I heard you say June, I just wondered how that was going to go.
Yeah,
okay.
I really am not sure, to be fair. We're just sort of setting calendars, and for the time being, they're going to say virtual or in person. And I don't know when, for instance, Mr. Gamage has indicated, or the public defender's office, when they want you back down here. So we can do them either way.
Yeah, our office is okay with hybrid calendars as long as the court will allow it. So.
Okay.
Has the chief judge set a date? He usually, is Melton gone? Chief Judge Melton? Is he gone yet?
No, but it's now up to each individual, the chief judges of each circuit and court, to make those decisions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
I had a question for Aisha.
Yes.
Yes. I emailed you 2 days ago on Mr. Butler. I was trying to get him on SAP calendar. Were you able to do that? Okay, thank you, because he's called me like 20 times.
Yes, he's on for the 27th.
Okay, great. Thanks.